Prepare for the loading screen. That will be your mind exploding from amazing gaming news. Are you expecting this? I bet you're not. Oh, let's do this.
Hi, and welcome to Respawn TV. I am Moose Bland. I was born in 1992, and since we're introducing ourselves, I'm going to throw it over to my trusty sidekick, as well as I am his sidekick. Will you introduce yourself?
My name is Brendan McKenna. I just came back from the bathroom. Back to you, Moose.
The bathroom is a place of intense thought, meditation, and time to just be. Well, since we're being honest, I am that guy in your bushes. Moving on. I hope you guys like the new set. Do you enjoy the new set? Don't look at me like that. Do you enjoy the new set?
You were the guy in the bushes.
I am.
I like the new set. I like the plants.
These plants?
I like the plants. Yes.
Okay, so apparently he likes the plants. But if you don't know about Respawn, Respawn is a place where we talk about tech news, we talk about video games.
Everything that has to do with you and a game console or a screen and staring at it for days on end, especially Saturdays.
Yes. Coming up, we have video game news.
Oh, sweet.
What do we have video game news about? Do you know?
Probably something newsworthy.
Well, like Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online.
That should be interesting.
That I have gotten used to seeing the Elder Scrolls games just from seeing videos on YouTube and things like that, because I followed along with the Fallout games, and they're made by the same people, Bethesda, I believe it is. But
too much land.
A 20-minute game demo was shown at QuakeCon this month, and it had a lot of new features for this version of Elder Scrolls that'll be on the internet, apparently. I myself can only imagine something like going into someone else's home and raiding their stuff, which would be really annoying. But it's like the use of stamina while sneaking. In the regular game, is there stamina when sneaking around, or can you just do that forever?
I couldn't tell you because I just killed people's animals, ran from them, and did magic on bears.
I've seen it. Isn't it like, I think, as I remember, it was you hide, and there's a detection meter for if people see you.
Yes.
Right.
That's true.
I'm assuming there'll be a character creation screen again, and if it's all in first person, you might not put as much care into it. But then again, you're going to be seeing hundreds of people online. But on top of that, there's going to be way shrines for quick travel, because apparently this is the same for Fallout.
Yes.
When you reach a new place, if there are no enemies nearby, you can immediately warp back there whenever you want.
I don't like that.
But this time around, you got to go to a specific spot if you want to warp around. It's kind of like Shadow of the Colossus, where you pray at the little shrines. But this time around, you can zoom from one side of the country to the other.
Me, I'm not a fan of it because it kind of takes away from the video game, but I can understand being that it's such a big map and you have to like walk everywhere.
Right.
Or find a glitch.
Well, I've heard Elder Scrolls Online is going to come out 2014, I believe, but they also...
Oh my gosh, forever.
But they also brought up Dota 2, which is Defense of the Ancients. It's finally officially released after 2 years in beta. And I've seen gameplay footage of this. It's a fantasy game. It's kind of like League of Legends, where you're attacking bases, you're forming all that stuff up just without aliens. It's going to be a little more... I hope I don't get any like hate mail or something for this one. Like, it's its original game, all its own, and it's gonna be. I'm sure it is, friends.
Well, about the hate mail, nobody likes us that much. We won't get hate mail.
And if we do, have low self-esteem here. It has.
I have to.
It has a very steep learning curve, I've heard, which I really like that in the game. But got to make sure it has a good tutorial. I love games that punish you because guess what? I'm sadistic. So you can get your own copy of that game on Steam for PC and Mac.
Okay, PC and Mac, make sure you get that. But why do you like being punished in the game?
Because I like to feel like the game is trying to fight up against me. Because if it's a game where like I die and it immediately comes back, I can just keep plowing through it again and again and again. But if it's hard and I finally, skillfully conquer the game, I know that it was my skill. I feel awesome. Even though I threw the controller across the room 5 times, bought a new console when it blew up from my stress, I felt that little joyous, happy moment.
1, you need to get out more, okay? 2, don't you look at me like that. 2, that's okay. We're gonna take a break really quickly and we're gonna talk about how he needs to get out more. He needs more friends, but don't worry, I'm his friend. We are your friend, and we'll be right back with more Respawn TV.
And he is ignorant. He is an ignorant fool that doesn't understand my life. Goodbye. Welcome back to Respawn TV. It's time for tech news. The Wii U from Nintendo, the console that never caught on.
Well, I don't think I would say it never caught on because, Nintendo is a very big contender in this whole console generation. But, sometimes you have your downfalls and you have to learn from those downfalls in order to make a better console and make better sales and everything else.
The weird thing is, when it comes to Nintendo, and I've seen this over time, I own a Wii U, you see, but it's a win, fail, win, fail. That's how it goes. Every other console is going to be a stinker. You got the Virtual Boy, but then after that, I believe it was the Nintendo 64, and everybody loves that thing. So it got on a high publicity-wise. Then the GameCube. That was one of the lowest consoles ever.
Okay, time out.
Then Wii.
GameCube.
The GameCube
was fantastic.
Was underrated. It had amazing games on it.
It had amazing games. Madagascar, Mario Kart. Sometimes, those good nights Mario Karting.
Between April and June this year, the Wii U only sold 160,000 units globally. That's not much. But then again, from what I've seen, Nintendo's ready to take that. They can do that. They can handle it.
Well, yeah, they can handle it, but at this point, are they in trouble? Especially with PS4 coming out and the Xbox One coming out. Do you think that they're in trouble for the long run?
Well, the thing is, they didn't have much of a lineup for the Wii U. They're releasing it over the next 2 years, those games, slowly, because they've been told, Nintendo's heard from customers, they want to have more time with their games before another one comes out, which has kind of backfired on them. But the biggest problem here is that it came after the Wii. And after the Wii, it's going to get tons of publicity because that was the highest selling console ever.
This is my opinion on Nintendo. They made the 64 as well as others. And they made such big successes that they never really understood a major flop. But like I said earlier, every console has to have their flops. It's like a hit and miss. You have to take those chances in order to figure out what to do next time to make it better.
And they can definitely handle this.
And they can handle it because Nintendo's been in the game forever.
I looked up the overall income that they've made every year, profit, and this is in comparison to Microsoft and Sony. And Microsoft has gone in the red almost yearly. Sony has gone in the red maybe twice. Since the creation of the NES with Nintendo, they have never been in the red. They, in fact, have more than, I believe, 4 times as much money as both Sony and Microsoft combined. And that's just because, they've had such a great winning record so far.
They hit and miss, but when they hit big to where they take misses, just like you said, and they handle it
That's why they're willing to push it, because they just released the 2DS, which was a lower-cost 3DS that doesn't have 3D capability. And people are getting all upset about this because they're thinking this isn't called for, especially after the Wii U. It really is. They have the money for it, and this is playing towards the kids that are under 6 years old. It comes in a slate form, so they don't snap the thing in two. The 3D hurts young children's eyes, so they went for that.
True.
And it lets you play games for a lower amount of money, plus it's released the same day as the new Pokemon games.
They play it smart, and they sit back and they think about major demographics.
Right.
Whereas Sony and Xbox or Microsoft, they do think about demographics, but they also just pertain to one. Whereas Nintendo, they pertain to all of those different demographics. But switching the conversation to Microsoft, we have to go there. They're actually starting to listen to negative feedback on the Xbox One, which recently had their expo.
You know that your console's going to have a horrible start when they announce the price of this console and the audience is hushed from booing. They were booing and the security hushed them.
I don't know what went on with their mind process or their thought process, especially being that we just want this console. We only use internet to play online with our friends and update. We don't want anything else.
To give an update to anybody that has not seen what's going on right now, the Xbox One has so many restrictions that it's actually frightening off the audience because Microsoft thought they could take these chances. They decided that you couldn't have used games you share with a friend. They decided you had to connect to the internet every 24 hours or you'd lose your games. They can take your games at any point, and the Kinect could actually see you through the camera whenever it wanted to. They had a sign up with the Movie Association of America.
Big Brother.
Yeah, and that was freaking people out. Plus $100 more expensive than the PS4. So people were in uproar. I mean, I'm used to this type of thing, these type of restrictions, because Steam on the PC does basically the same things, except it doesn't spy on me. The only difference is...
Or does it?
Well, the difference, though, is Xbox is going to release their games for like $60 each. Steam, I could pick up 5 games for $15 on a sale weekend. So I can deal with these problems. But people, they've finally had enough of it.
Well, it's good that they're taking a starting point and listening, because we don't ever want to see any console have no kind of sales, or like 20,000 copies, or not copies, but 20,000 consoles globally, which I doubt will happen. And
what you wonder is, they've improved it for the consumer, but what about for the developer? Even before all these restrictions were removed, indie developers couldn't develop for the Xbox One. I'm not sure if that's changed yet, but that's a huge thing for the Xbox. You got to be able to make indie games. A lot of the games that I've played recently, like Limbo, Braid, I believe was on Xbox 360, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, all indie games that got really popular through that and the PC.
And see, a lot of people don't like the mainstream games, which is also a great point that you bring up with the indie games. You have to allow that. You have to allow people to bring in different genres. It's just like music. You have to allow different types of genres because everyone is different. But good news for consumers is that it is going to get somewhere. It will get somewhere from here.
It's a slow, steady process.
Yes, but it will get somewhere. I think that's the positive point, is that it will get somewhere, whereas most people, they just uproar and it never really gets anywhere. But this time, they're doing something about it. They want to compete. They want to be in the ranks with Nintendo.
You are able to play used games again.
Yes.
The online thing's taken away. As far as I know, the Kinect doesn't have to happen anymore.
Yes.
Like, they'll sell it with or without. People were in uproar about that.
And, it just takes these things, like them releasing it and everything else, it takes that for them to get that, this isn't working. Also, as you know, banning those used games it doesn't seem like a big deal to many people who buy their games new, but what about those retailers like GameStop who takes those used games, and
they would go out of business practically. I don't understand.
Fairly fast, because you can just buy it online and you can have your game there, hand it to you.
I don't know if GameStop's supporting this or not, because I haven't heard a single whisper.
That.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'd stay quiet, because they know with all these pre-orders and such, like for the Assassin's Creed 4 stuff, you're getting the new Hidden Blade. They're getting all this crazy stuff. But I'm sure because of those reasons that game developers support them so much, they don't want to speak out about this lest they lose business.
True.
But they're going to lose even more if they don't allow used games.
It's good that Microsoft is getting that feedback and they are hammering out what they need to do to figure out what can we do to make this better? What can we do to continue to compete?
Thing is, at the end of the line here, I understand Xbox One is taking all this stuff back and they're listening to the consumer, but I don't trust them still. I think that if they try this junk, they're going to try it again. It's like somebody coming up behind you with a knife and saying, I'm going to backstab you. And then you turn around real quick and they're like, it wasn't me, it's okay. But then when you turn around again because you think you trust them again, they pull the knife right back out and they're going to stab you again.
Exactly. But maybe they're ahead of their game, though. That's true.
Assumptions.
That's cool.
We can't make these base assumptions out of nothing. We're going to wait for November. And when that happens, we will see if people appreciate it. But as of right now, I don't want to trust that wolf that tried to eat me when my back was turned and I caught it.
Well,
Little Red Riding Hood is me. And as me, I will not be the Little Red Riding Hood to say the grandma. And if he ate the grandma, she's going to come eat me.
Okay, time out.
I trusted grandma.
Why are you with wolves?
I'm saying Xbox One is a wolf. I, as the consumer, am Little Red Riding Hood. And I noticed the wolf. And the wolf is like, I'm just Granny. I'm having fun baking cookies. But when you turn around again, she's going to come out of that skin and it's going to eat you. It's like a fairy tale, man. It's going to play out like a horribly tragic fairy tale.
Moral of the story, don't trust grandma.
She bakes cookies of demons.
In other words, do not trust grandma. And earlier we was talking about indie gamers being able to develop for these major consoles. Going into that, we actually have a Respawn TV crew member who
Local psychic
Dick Daly, who is going to talk about the indie gamer. So let's check that out.
Hello everyone, I'm Dick Daly and welcome to the first episode of Indie Gamer. Today I'll be playing an indie game called Fez. The game's available on Xbox Live Arcade and Steam. Let's start playing. Now, before I start playing the game, most of you probably don't know what an indie game is. Well, indie games are independently made video games that are created by individuals or small teams, generally without video game publishers or financial support. That being said, indie games don't get commercialized like other games such as Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto, Halo, Madden, and the list goes on. So my job here is to show you these amazing games that deserve the same amount of attention as the bigger games get. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, it's time to play Fez. Fez is about a little bro named Gomez who is a two-dimensional creature living in a two-dimensional world. But one day, my man Gomez finds a crazy artifact called the hexahedron. The hexahedron gives Gomez a Fez hat that changes his world. No, really though, it literally changes his world. It gives him the power to view his boring 2D world in 3D. The objective of the game is to find 32 cubes that are scattered around Gomez's world. Now I know this sounds simple, but in order to find these cubes, the player must use the 3D powers to acquire them. Oh yeah, and sometimes blow stuff up. As the game goes on, you notice that there's a bunch of black holes, or I guess black squares, that are forming all over the world. Gomez's goal is to collect all the cubes to rebuild the hexahedron and restore his world before it's totally destroyed. Well, that's all I have to say about the game. Now it's time to review it. I had a lot of fun playing this game. The puzzles were challenging but not too challenging, the dialogue was pretty funny, the music was nice and soothing, and I've never played a game like it before. It was very original. The only complaint I do have about Fez is the lack of penalties after dying. Now this makes the game a lot less stressful, but it makes the player seem careless about the obstacles and makes the game less challenging. IGN scored the game with a 9.5 out of 10. IGN's Mitch Dyer said, "Fez is a game in love with games. It has a respect for classic ideals and a confidence in its original ideas." Fez is available on Xbox Live Arcade and Steam for just $10. If you're afraid you won't like it, that's cool. You can just download a free trial and see what you think. You should also check out the documentary called Indie Game. The film follows the creator of Fez, Phil Fish, and all the hard work he put into the game.
That's like my incentive to finish it, is then I get to not kill myself.
Indie Game received a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's definitely worth a watch if you're into video games and documentaries. Well, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Indie Gamer. Once again, I'm Dick Daly, and thanks for watching.
Welcome back. That was Indie Gamer. Next up we have, for the first time ever, a Let's Play segment. It's going to be called Project Delta. It is called Project Delta. It's not gonna be, so let's start that up. Do you agree, Moose?
It reminds me of Power Rangers.
It reminds me of home.
Delta Force. Activate.
It has been a long way from the mid-1940s, when the first video games were developed for giant computers that weighed several tons, and only a few institutes could afford to own. The size of these consoles, the PCs, the box if you will that runs these games might have shrunk, but the games, the content, have only gotten deeper and more incredibly awesome over the last century. Here on Respawn, it is our mission to delve into these games, break them down piece by piece, to find what is the stuff of legends and what failed to bring home the bacon. I am Shadow, and along with McKenna and our guest players, we do what the alpha and the beta testers did, and we find what most consumers couldn't see. We are a good game's last hope for purchase and a bad game's worst nightmare. We are Project Delta.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Project Delta. It is the Let's Play segment here on Respawn TV. I am your host, Shadow. Right next to me is the co-host, Brendan McKenna. And even further next to me is our first guest this whole semester, this whole first season with doing this. Moose Game, brought to you by our buddy Steven, is BioShock Infinite for the Xbox 360. And we're going to start this new game for you right here.
Thank you so much, because I'm the only one of the three here that's played the game, and I feel like that's a travesty.
What difficulty?
Well, since you played FPS games, medium, I guess.
Medium?
Yeah, go ahead, medium.
All right, let's do it.
Why not easy? So if I die, I'm gonna be embarrassed. You're just setting me up for embarrassment.
Well,
Thank you.
the whole purpose of Respawn doing this on Respawn TV is we're going to analyze games. We're doing pretty much what the alpha, the beta testers do. We're going to try and find things that most consumers didn't, and we're pretty much going to find out if a game is worthy of what it's been rated, or if it's been underrated or overrated.
Are you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you.
That is a way to start.
The mind of the
game.
subject will desperately struggle to create memories where none exist.
Barriers to transdimensional travel.
Our Lutece.
1912, across the coast of Maine.
Yeah, I really like.
Are you going to just sit there?
Yes.
Best compared to what? Standing?
Not standing. Rowing.
Rowing? I haven't planned on it.
So you expect me to shoulder the burden?
No. But I do expect you to do all the rowing.
And why is that?
Coming here
Thanks
was
for the
your
box,
idea.
lady. Don't disappoint us.
Yes.
Okay.
I hope you don't, by the way.
It's probably
Oh,
not.
I will disappoint everyone.
I will disappoint you entirely.
That reminds me so much of like when the big daddies get angry. Mm-hmm. It's like you see that red and you're like, oh God, no.
Yeah, it's a lot of air connecting there, and just the water on the ground and the
Dude, like seriously,
You probably shouldn't make those sounds again.
Oh, come on.
like graphics like these, they don't necessarily have to be lifelike. They have this kind of vintage feel to it. Like
Yeah, you don't expect them to be lifelike when it has that feel.
yeah, like the vintage feel really captures me.
Oh, I really love this part. This part that's happening right now. Guy nominated for best moment of 2013.
Really?
Make yourself ready, Pilgrim. The bindings are there as a safeguard.
Oh my God.
Well, see, this already kind of strikes me as makes me nervous, because just how they made this, it makes you feel like you're constricted.
Not my
Yeah.
turn.
Ascension in the compass.
Just take off.
Bye-bye.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you get for sitting in the
Oh,
fancy
dude,
chair.
his face.
Yeah, you can even see that reflection in there.
Oh,
Hallelujah.
What kind of story pattern is this? Like, is it after the first and second one?
This is an entirely different setting, like a whole new universe.
Like, you mean it has like absolutely nothing? Like
Nothing.
Nothing
Nope.
canon to the first two?
No connection to the other two at all.
Like, same universe though, or?
No, not even the same universe.
wow.
Dude,
This
that's
just seems to
weird.
get
You
deeper
never see
and
a game
deeper.
do
Yeah,
that.
Ken Levine, the guy who directed the game, said that he didn't want to do a sequel that was in the same universe. That's why he didn't make Bioshock 2. He made Bioshock 1 and this one. Because he said that's just not bringing anything new to the table. That is just trying to get more money out of a dying franchise. He wants to have a new idea each time.
And that's what you want to bring as not only as a director but a developer. So,
Yeah.
And so far, he has my attention. This
Dude,
has my attention.
that is something that gets a game like this a very high rating.
Yeah.
Like that whole mindset, something new, something original, quit doing the copy paste. That's exactly why The Last of Us got such a high rating, because it was something new and different from every other zombie game, and so it got a really high rating. And
Right.
it's just those ideas, like, we're not just gonna bore everyone and do the year by year title to get funding. We're actually gonna like make this. Oh my God, dude, these graphics.
And it's these things about these little things in this game. Like, the art direction is the biggest thing in this game. You can tell it's church right now. You can hear a little choir in the background. Just the water everywhere.
Dude, the lighting on this.
Yeah.
They put so much thought into this.
And this is really a good thing for them to pull off, especially since the first art director, he quit partway through development here. This thing got delayed 3 times.
You can see they wear white for purity.
See, that's what I like about it. In video games, you can take things more extreme. Like, you can hit topics that are really harsh.
Well,
That's
it's nice
not-
to know that my first 5 minutes in this prophetized town, I got drowned.
Well, it's baptism.
Yeah.
I know, but it's like the dude's like all happy. And he's like, I'm gonna I'm gonna baptize you in the name of my prophet. Hand over the face and.
Did he pass out?
I think, yeah, he did.
He passed out?
Yeah.
Why did he breathe when he was going underwater?
Because you can't breathe underwater, man. Yeah.
I couldn't move.
Most of this game is not cutscenes, so like.
All right.
That's a fun thing with that.
Whoa.
Whoa. Well, that's an immediate start.
This is like a really, really weird spiritual trip. See, I knew it.
And as I say, Ben Franklin is a BAM.
This is, they consider that Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and George Washington brought peace to the world by founding America.
Oh, well, you can't jump in the rose bushes.
This reminds me of right now?
What?
This reminds me of what, like, it's a little more forward in time, but picture Fable 3 and picture what it would be like in first person instead of third person.
Ooh.
And that's what I see. Because, like, I mean, Moose might not know all about Fable.
Not all about it.
Right.
Oh, say something smart.
Well, I mean, no, you're a Sony player. You
here's the...
Well, yeah, but...
And Xbox is, like, exclusive
This
to
is
Fable.
this is a big part here.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
That is a weird-looking kid.
Like, for a second, I thought that was like a midget more than a kid. Like, he had a man's face.
I have a fear of statues. What is that? Automaton phobia or something like that?
I don't know. All I
It's
know
a-
is
it's
it's
automaton
a
something.
giant golden angel.
It's scary.
Oh, this is a really big... I like this idea in the game. Ken Levine came up with this idea that this carnival you're about to walk into teaches you all the mechanics of the game, but it's entirely optional. You just approach the panels as you want to learn them, and you play the little games. Like that was showing off vigors, which are like magical powers.
Dude, that's cool, because, like, I hate games that force the tutorial on you. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've watched Sequelitis on YouTube.
I've seen it.
But, like, games in the past, they were all on letting you figure it out because they believed that you were smart enough to learn as you went, instead of having to just go through the whole tutorial and then know what you're doing while you're playing.
Right.
It kills, like, the experience for you. So this is all optional?
Yeah, well, you go through it anyway. But this stuff teaches you all about everything in the world. Like how to fire a gun, how to use a vigor.
This game is...
On the right, a handyman.
Oh, my... Oh, no. That's one of the enemies from the trailer, isn't it?
They've been put into a body. They were about to die. They were put into a body, and now they'll live forever. So that's
fun.
An amazing thing from Colombia.
Oh, great.
This city looks like all fun and games until someone falls over their edge.
All right, well, I think this would be a good stopping point, mostly because we don't like letting Brendan play at all. Yeah. Thanks for watching Project Delta. We are on Respawn TV, which is every Monday through Thursday at 7:30 p.m.
KNWT Channel 8. Don't forget. Shoot him.
There's nobody here.
Find someone.
Ha! That was a great job, me and Moose playing a game with someone else. Well, this reaches the end of our show. Thanks for joining us on Respawn TV. What do you think, Moose? We're going to say goodbye from Respawn TV now because this is our last time on camera officially. I've been told that by the management. Are you going to say goodbye, Moose? Wave your hand like, yeah,
Bye.
I'm
Make
going to
sure
wave
you
my
tune in next week. We'll be here next week. If not, petition, riot,
Send in an angry email and then delete it and feel a little more secure that you helped us in some way indirectly.
Tackle Dylan Rainey.
It's going to get
Project
so
Delta.
tackled.
We'll see you next week.